It's payday, the money hits your bank account, the mortgage goes out, you fill up the car with petrol, you do the extra big grocery shop, and you get takeaway for dinner. For a moment, everything feels right with the world. But within a couple of days, your bank account is running on empty, and you're left wondering, why is this so hard? I'm not living an extravagant lifestyle, so why is it so hard to get ahead? If this sounds familiar to you, then please be assured you are not alone. Hi there, my name is Phil. I'm a former partner in one of Australia's leading stockbroking and financial planning firms, and I've been helping people master the financial basics for over 35 years. And what I'm about to share with you is the exact system that I've used to help thousands of clients finally feel in control of their money. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what to do with your money every time you get paid. No financial jargon, no complicated investment tricks, just a simple step-by-step plan I've used with thousands of clients to help them get control of their finances, reduce the financial stress, and get some real financial momentum. And if after watching this video you would like a copy of my full financial roadmap and some training to go with it, then please click on the link in the description below. So let's have a quick look at what we're going to cover in this video. Firstly, we're going to look at how do we create some financial breathing space in our life. Then we're going to look at, well, what is the flow or the order in which I should do everything with my money. Then we're going to look at how do we protect ourselves from life's unexpected events. We're then going to look at when we should consider paying off debt, when we should consider saving, and when we should consider investing. And last of all, we're going to look at how do we use the money that we've got to create a life that we absolutely love. Hopefully that sounds good to you, so let's jump into it. On the screen, you can see a copy of my financial roadmap, which I've developed through 35 years of financial coaching. Now, this roadmap is what I use to help my clients work out, well, where am I at right now financially? Where do I want to be financially? And what are the steps that I need to take to get there? Now, step number one in this process is to work out, is my income greater than my expenses? Because I want to make sure that there is a surplus left over each month. In other words, we need to spend less than we earn. And I know that this sounds obvious, but very few people ever take the time to actually work this out. So ideally, what we want to do is work through some expense worksheets. And if you would like a copy of my Financial Universe worksheets, again, there is a link in the description below that you can get access to. But the goal of these worksheets is to help you work through what do I spend on all of my expenses so that we can end up with a summary like this. So you can see at the top here, we've got Eve's income is this. She has some business income coming in. So her total income is $9,699. And then what happens is Eve's worked out what are all of my expenses across the course of the year, and then we've divided that figure by 12 so that we can do an apple to apples comparison between here is my monthly income and here is what I need to set aside for all of these expenses on a monthly basis. So what we've got here is 1,051 needs to be set aside for everyday spending. So there's things like groceries, petrol, parking, entertainment, bought coffees, and so on. 625 needs to be put aside for utilities. 132 for communications. We can go down the bottom here. Loan repayments, 3,900. But in total, the important thing to note here is that the total of Eve's expenses is $8,976. The total of Eve's monthly income is $9,699. So we can clearly see here that Eve has some money left over at the end of each month. So once you set money aside for all her upcoming expenses, there is some money left over. And this is our first step, is to create some surplus, because the surplus is the water in our cascade. Without surplus money, none of these other pools further down the cascade will ever receive the water they need. So without a surplus, there is no savings. Without a surplus, there are no life goals achieved. Without a surplus, we never get to the investment pool. Without a surplus, there is no freedom. And there's certainly no peace of mind. So we need, first step is to identify, well, do we have a monthly surplus? The second step in this process is then to set up some kind of money management system. Yes, a budget if you like, but there are ways to manage your money without having a strict budget. It could be that you simply set up a bank account structure. Now, this is the bank account structure that I use with all of my clients, where we've got income coming into the central working account. We've worked out what all of the average monthly expenses are, and therefore how much needs to be sitting in our central working account so that all our bills, all our expenses can be paid from this account via direct debit, via transfers, put on a credit card and paid off from this account, or just simply put on a debit card. But if we get our bank account structure right, it can help us to harness our cash flow. And if we've got more income coming in than money we need to set aside for upcoming expenses, then we can move money down into our savings account each month. The other way of doing it, of course, is to have some kind of budget. This is my personal budgeting money management system that I use with all my clients, where quite simply, we're putting money aside into a jar. So for instance, here we're putting $430 aside into our everyday jar each month. There was $76 left in the jar from the previous month. We've spent $104 so far this month, so we can see the funds we've got remaining. We've got $402 that we know that we can spend. Now, the beautiful thing about a budget like this, of course, is that if we stick to our budget and we don't overspend, you can see here there's a couple of overspends in here, but if we don't overspend, then we know we're going to have some surplus money each month that we can then move to the next step in our cascade. So the second step in this process is to have some kind of money management system where you're putting aside money each month for your future expenses, so that when those expenses turn up, you've got the money sitting there ready to go. And this is really important for expenses like, for instance, the car expenses, where you're putting aside money every month for the car registration, for the insurance, for the maintenance, for the tires, and so on, so that when those things turn up, you're not trying to fit all of those expenses into this week's pay, but it's been spread across the entire year, which takes all the stress out of paying those big bills. So you can see here, this client is putting aside $245 a month. They've already got $2,047 accumulated. They've just had a big service and the rego come out. No stress, the money was there, and there's currently $311 left over after all of those expenses. So the second step in this process is have some kind of money management system where you're putting aside money for all your upcoming expenses. And the third step in this process, once we've got our known expenses covered, is to take any surplus, have that flow down through the cascade into our rainy day fund. And our rainy day fund is for those unexpected expenses that life throws at us. Things like the dog getting sick, the car breaking down, the hot water system dying. I'm sure you can think of plenty of examples in your own life in the past year. Every year, 10 to 15% of our expenses will be unexpected. We know something's going to happen, we just don't know what. So having a rainy day fund of $3,000 to $5,000 can be really helpful and turn those unexpected expenses from a crisis to just a mere inconvenience. Step number 4 in this process, once we've got our rainy day fund in place, is to then start eliminating our high interest debt. So this is things like our credit card debt, personal loans, car loans, high interest debt that is robbing us of cash flow. We want to get rid of this as quickly as possible. However, there's one thing that you will notice about this cascade and about the rhythm that we've got going here, is that we're not paying off debt at the first step. We're not paying off debt at the second step. We're not paying debt off at the third step. Debt elimination is step number 4, and this is absolutely on purpose. Over the past 5 years alone, my clients have paid off over $18 million in credit card debt, and it's because they followed a very specific plan. In fact, this plan, in that we build the foundation first. First, we make sure that there is some surplus cash flow. Then we make sure we've got our known expenses covered. Then we make sure that we've got the unexpected expenses covered. And then every surplus dollar can go to paying off our debt, knowing that every dollar we use to pay off our debt will stay off our debt permanently. There's no yo-yoing of debt here because we've got our known and our unknown expenses already covered in the pools above. So debt elimination, very important, but it's always step number 4 in this process. Step number 5, once we've eliminated our high interest debt, it's now time to take our surplus cash flow and start turning our rainy day fund into a full-blown cash reserve. Ideally, this is 3 to 6 months of your average monthly expenses. Now, where your rainy day fund was there to cover unexpected expenses, your cash reserve is there to cover unexpected life events. So things like you get sick or injured and you can't work for a period of time, or maybe you lose your job, or maybe you need to take time off work to care for a loved one. Whatever it is, you need to have some kind of cash reserve in place, especially before we start the investment process. Because once we start the investment process, we do not want to be in a situation where our investments have gone down for a little bit. It happens, it's part of the cycles, our investments have gone down, all of a sudden we lose our job or we need to take time off work and we're having to dip into our investments at a point where they're down. We never want that to happen, so having a cash reserve is key to giving us peace of mind and key to ensuring that we never need to touch our investments for any kind of emergency. Step number 5, build yourself a cash reserve of around 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Step number 6, this is where the fun begins. You've done the hard work, you've built the foundation, and now we get to start investing. Now we get to start making your money work for you rather than the other way around. This is where money makes money, and it doesn't need to be complicated. Simply investing a set amount every single month into an index fund, month after month after month, and setting it up on automatic pilot is the key to successful investing. And this is a step where you can do it, because at this point, you know that your income is greater than your expenses. You know that you've got enough money set aside for all of your known expenses. You know that you've got a rainy day fund in place in case the car breaks down. You know that you've got money set aside in your cash reserve for unexpected life events. So you can approach investing with absolute confidence that this is money you're not going to need in the short term, so you can think long term and you can invest long term. Next step in the equation then is big life goals. Maybe this is buying a house. Maybe it's paying off the house you've already got. Maybe it's putting the kids into private school or buying a new car or taking the family overseas. Whatever those big life goals are, at this point, you can approach them with absolute confidence because you know what your monthly surplus is. You know what the big goal is going to cost you. So we can start to quantify exactly how long it's going to take you to tick off the first goal on your list, then the second goal on your list, and so on. And this is a lot of fun, and it makes you feel like, yeah, I am the boss of my money. My money's working for me and I'm achieving the kind of life that I really want for myself because I'm being purposeful. I'm being intentional in the way I use my money. And step number 8 is to automate everything as far as possible. This means money should be coming from your central working account as a direct debit to pay all your bills. This means that money should be coming from your central working account to build your rainy day fund when you get up to that. It means that money should be coming from your central working account to your cash reserve when you get up to that step. It means that money should be coming out of your central working account to pay down debt automatically. And it means that your investments should be set up as direct debit. So again, it all just ticks along in the background. No willpower or discipline required. It all just happens on autopilot. Now, I hope this has been helpful so far. If it has, can I please encourage you to click the like button because that helps my channel, this content, to reach more families. And please subscribe because every week I release more videos with practical, no fluff money strategies just like this one. So please click the like and subscribe. So let's finish up with a really quick summary. Important that we think about our finances like a cascade. Our income is water flowing into that cascade, but we want to make sure that our income is greater than our expenses so that water starts to overflow down through our cascade. So our first goal is to create a monthly surplus. The second goal is then to make sure that we're putting money aside for all of our known expenses so that when they turn up, the money's just sitting there ready to go. Third step in this process, once we've got our known expenses covered, is to use our surplus cash flow to fill up our rainy day fund, which is the third pool in this cascade, the rainy day fund being for unexpected expenses. Once we've got step 1, 2, and 3 in place, then and only then we can start to eliminate high interest debt. Step number 5, once we've got rid of our high interest debt, is to build or turn our rainy day fund into a cash reserve to protect us against life events. Now, this is really important. This is the foundation, because once we've got the foundation in place, then we can confidently look to start investing. Investing is the key to getting our money working for us and to start creating the kind of life that we really would love for ourselves and our family. And then, of course, once we've got our investment starting to tick along, then we can start to work towards big life goals. And this is where we start to create a life that we absolutely love. And we can do it on autopilot. And so we did say down here, automate everything. We can start to make it all happen on autopilot. Now, again, I hope that this has been helpful. Thank you for watching this video. If it has been helpful, please click the like, please subscribe. And if you would like a copy of my financial roadmap and a training video that goes with that, then check out the link in the description below. This is the sort of stuff that I do with my clients every single day. It brings me a huge amount of joy and it gets incredible results. So check out that link in the description below. And please remember, it is the little habits and strategies that you put in place today that can literally make $1 million difference to your future. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.